The Modi government's foreign policy will require much more imagination than the shock and awe tactics of the past 2.5 years. At the halfway mark, how different is Modi's foreign policy? In a rapidly changing world, do the Modi government's foreign policy seeks the change? While Pakistan crossed its red line, how India attacked it in recent past? How was the Gujral's doctrine compared to Modi doctrine? GS Paper 2, India and its neighbors. What is the context about? India since May 2014 committed to become closest partner of US, keeping in mind the following aspirations, that is, to build an international maritime partnership in Asia, to play a leading role in the South Asian neighborhood, strategically as well as for humanitarian purposes, and to take a strong position on terrorism or cross-border terrorism emanating from Pakistan. New paradigms in India's foreign policy went on to define it thus: India first, neighborhood first, engaging competing global powers, with a focus on the diaspora and on delivery. At the halfway mark, how different is Modi's foreign policy? The answer to that may have come from Union Defence Minister comments in the past few months, where he has repeatedly referred to the need for unpredictability in India's defence, nuclear and strategic postures. Modi's foreign policy thinking is out of box, which takes all by surprise at every turn. Modi's closest partnership was forged with the US, the country that shut him out for 9 years. He is yet to visit Israel, the country he spoke of most often as a friend, but he has completed several tours to West Asia, to the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and has already visited Iran, Israel's archenemy. In a rapidly changing world, do the Modi government's foreign policy seeks the change? Not everyone likes surprises. China and Pakistan, most notably, can be expected to counter our doctrine with an overly aggressive defense posture. It would then lead to more tensions at India's frontiers, just when the Modi government may want to focus on economic and domestic policies the most. A doctrine of unpredictability runs counter to the deterrence theory as well, which rests on the sure principle of what the response might be, nuclear or otherwise. It leaves India with very few non-war options. India's policy of diplomatically isolating Pakistan may also suffer from this pushback as Pakistan steps up its efforts to engage China, Russia and Iran on connectivity, offering them strategic maritime advantages off its shores which it had not in the past. So the next few years will require more of that imagination from the Modi government as it seeks to define India's position in the world. While Pakistan crossed its red line, how India attacked it in recent past? In 2016, India announced 3 strikes on Pakistan in quick succession. On Independence Day, PM announced a new activist policy towards Balochistan's freedom movement, a major departure from India's traditional policy of non-interference. The announcement of cross-line of control strikes in retaliation for the Uri attacks, and a departure from India's policy of keeping such operations covert. The announcement, along with neighboring countries, of a boycott of the SAARC, South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, summit in Pakistan. How was the Gujral's doctrine compared to Modi doctrine? The Gujral doctrine is a set of 5 principles to guide the conduct of foreign relations with India's immediate neighbors, as spelt out by I.K. Gujral, first as India's External Affairs Minister and later as the Prime Minister. The 5 principles are: with neighbors like Bangladesh, Bhutan, Maldives, Nepal, and Sri Lanka, India does not ask for reciprocity, but gives and accommodates what it can in good faith and trust. No South Asian country should allow its territory to be used against the interest of another country of the region. No country should interfere in the internal affairs of another. All South Asian countries must respect each other's territorial integrity and sovereignty. They should settle all their disputes through peaceful bilateral negotiations.